It just so happens that some talented fighters demolish every opponent on their way to the top. But sometimes, the rising fighter comes across an opponent who is equally matched, and one battle is not enough to find out which of them is stronger. Rematches are common in martial arts, but trilogies are unusual. This means that these matches often gather significant attention from fans of the sport. Today, we recall the trilogy of the great Muay Thai fighters, Dutchman Raymond Dekkers and Thai fighter Sangchanoy Sorangroy. These legendary fighters were among the most popular Muay Thai fighters of their time. Each of them had more than 200 professional fights and were multiple world champions. Raymond Dekkers started his professional career at the age of 16. In his first fight, he defeated a boxer who was much more experienced and older than him by knockout. Despite weighing in at only 121 pounds, Raymond continued to win fights by knockout. At age 18, he had already won his first serious title. A few months later, Raymond knocked out André Richard Nam, defeating the Frenchman in a rematch and won the European featherweight title. At this point, Dekkers took on the moniker The Diamond. Within a couple of years, he became European champion in super lightweight and double world champion in 2 weight categories. At 19, after about 50 pro fights, Dekkers traveled to Thailand for the first time. Dekkers was a super aggressive fighter with a great killer instinct and great strength in his hands, which proved to be a big advantage. But due to the highly skilled fighters of Thailand, it was very difficult for Dekkers to win a decisive victory over the native Thai warriors. After several defeats outside of his native Netherlands, Raymond entered the battle against local fighter Sangchanoy Sorangroy, better known as the Deadly Kisser. He earned his nickname for kissing his opponents on the cheek moments before knocking them out or defeating them. Sangchanoy was on a series of consecutive victories, and both him and Dekkers had commonly defeated former Lupini champion Cherry Sorwanich. Sangchanoy was 3 years older than Dekkers and started his professional career 3 years earlier, that is, at the age of 13. His first fight was done in secret against his parents' wishes for a very small amount of money. Sangchanoy always said that he came to the sport not for the money and not to become famous, but because he loved Muay Thai. He loved the sport, so he went to a gym near his house called Look Bankadi Gym. The talented teenager began to succeed, and later Sangchanoy moved to Bangkok to continue his career in a better gym. The Thai fighter's training and work ethic was his best quality. He spent almost his entire career in Bangkok, Thailand. Fans loved Sangchanoy for his aggressive fighting style, but he won almost all of his fights by decision. In this aspect, he differed from Raymond Dekkers. Raymond had more power and strength, and Sangchanoy had more technique. On March 22, 1991, the first duel took place between Dekkers and Sangchanoy. Before his first fight with Dekkers, the Thai had almost 100 fights and had become the champion in the 130-pound weight class at the Rajadamnern Stadium in 1989. Immediately after the bell, Dekkers went on the attack, and Sangchanoy felt the power of his right cross. In the first round, both fighters were active and worked with a variety of kicks, elbows, and hands. Sangchanoy landed well on the ribs with middle kicks. Raymond worked more on his hands, and it was clear that his punches were more powerful. In the middle of the round, the Dutchman stopped the Thai with a powerful oncoming right cross when he tried to throw out a knee or a front kick. Dekkers took the first round. In the second round, Sangchanoy led the fight and hit more. The Dutchman tried to counterattack, and there were several powerful hits from his side.
17歳です。アマチュアボクシングのギニア彼女にぶつかっています。そうですね。やってますね。それからピンチャンの今日はあと
本当にパンチ的に出してますんで。
ブンチャーなんかそうですよね。
そうですね。
まあデッカもこう攻撃ピントのところがたまにありますんでね。
そうですね。
ピンチャンの左ストレートがちょうどまっすぐ入る形になりますね。
Sanctinoy struck Decker's head with a high kick and delivered a few accurate knee strikes from a clinch. In the third round, both fighters threw a lot of kicks to different levels. The crowd cheered as Sanctinoy pinned the Dutchman near the ropes, elbowed him, and threw out a well-executed spinning elbow. The fourth round started with a high kick from Raymond. Sanctinoy once again aggressively took the center of the ring. He constantly threw a variety of blows, giving Deckers nearly no space for counterattacks. At the end of the round, Raymond became a little more active and landed a good series of hooks, but this was not enough for him to win the round. Feeling his advantage, the deadly kisser kissed his opponent on the cheek after completing the fourth round, which Raymond clearly did not appreciate. In the last round, Sanctinoy continued to lead the fight, delivering many middle kicks. Deckers tried to counterattack and hit with a series of punches, but lagged far behind his opponent in terms of significant blows. Raymond sped up a little at the end of the round and landed a solid right hook, but that didn't help him. Sanctinoy won the match by unanimous decision. After his loss to Sanctinoy, Deckers fought Muay Thai world champion Koban Cruncher Lukchao Mesatong, whom he defeated by knockout in a rematch. At the same time, Sanctinoy defeated fellow countryman Nuathorani Thonggracha, also in a rematch. 5 months after their first confrontation, a rematch took place between Deckers and Sanctinoy in Sanctinoy's native Bangkok at the legendary Lumpini Stadium. In the first round, the Dutchman was more active and delivered tight low kicks and worked with a quick series of punches. Sanctinoy mostly used his feet, and everyone noticed that the Dutchman was much better at blocking Sanctinoy's trademark middle kicks. Raymond took the first round. As in the first fight, Sanctinoy stepped up in the second round and hit his opponent with a hard right cross at the beginning. He responded to Deckers' attacks with even more aggressive counterattacks. The Dutchman began to miss more middle kicks to the body. Throughout the third round, Sanctinoy mostly used middle kicks and front kicks, while Deckers worked better when they exchanged punches. After the bell, there was a funny moment when Sanctinoy moved to kiss Raymond. But Raymond dodged and made some kind of gesture with his gloved hand. No one could tell exactly what it was. The fourth round was even more dynamic, with powerful combinations of punches and kicks from Deckers, and constant pressure and middle kicks from Sanctinoy. It can be seen in the closeness of this fight that Raymond worked on his previous mistakes. In the last round, Sanctinoy continued to bombard his opponent with his favorite middle kicks to the liver. Amazingly, Deckers endured many of these blows throughout the fight. In the middle of this final round, the Dutchman began to press and carried out several successful attacks with a series of punches. The Thai fighter began to look fatigued, and Dekkers accelerated and took the end of the fight. It was a very spectacular and very close duel, but the judges unanimously gave the victory for the second time to Sang Tanoy. After that, Dekkers had a series of wins and losses, losing 4 various title fights. In February 1994, he finally won the IKBF world title by defeating multiple world kickboxing champion Gilbert Ballantine. In November 1996, he won the vacant WPKL world title against Moroccan fighter Hassan Khasrioui. And almost 6 years after the rematch with Sang Tanoy, Dekkers met with the Deadly Kisser for the 3rd time, this time in his native Netherlands. Between their rematches, Sang Tanoy fought for the Lumpini Stadium Championship, but lost in the main event. And in his last fight before the 3rd match with Dekkers, the Thai had another title shot at Lumpini Stadium in the 135-pound weight class, which ended in a draw. The 3rd duel between Raymond Dekkers and Sang Tanoy took place on April 20th, 1997. After the gong, Dekkers knocked the Thai down with a powerful low kick. In the first round, the Dutchman led the fight, and from the second half of the first round, he began to successfully connect punches. At the end of the first round, Sang Tanoy found himself on the ground again after a low kick from the Dutchman, and this gave the first round to Raymond. The second round roughly followed the same scenario as the first. The evolution of the Dutchman's technique over these 6 years was easily visible. After the gong, Sang Tanoy left his death kiss on Dekkers' cheek, but so far there was no smell of his victory, and the Dutchman took the 2 rounds. At the end of the 3rd round, there were several more effective attacks with punches from the Dutchman. In the 4th round, Sang Tanoy began to press and bombard the opponent with middle kicks even more. In the 5th round, the Diamond continued to strike his opponent with a series of punches. Sang Tanoy tried to keep the Dutchman at a distance with kicks, but he did not succeed very well. After the final bell, both fighters raised their hands, but it was clear who won this time. Raymond Dekkers won by unanimous decision. The account of the confrontation between these talented fighters became 2-1 in favor of the Thai fighter Sang Tanoy. But the last word was for Dekkers. And if we analyze the progress in his technique of combat, the Dutchman added a lot in this aspect. It was an exciting trilogy that took place between these legendary fighters from different parts of the world. The fighters themselves were very different, but equally purposeful, brave, and loved their sport. Sang Tanoy did win the vacant 135-pound title at Lumpini Stadium that year, and became the WMC World Champion a year later. He fought over 200 fights in his career and hung up his gloves in 2000 due to a shoulder injury. Dekkers ended his professional fighting career in 2006. He had 186 victories, including 95 early wins, 33 defeats, and 2 draws. The Dutchman became the first non-Thai to win the Thai Boxer of the Year title and opened a Muay Thai school in his home country. These fighters forever inscribed themselves in the history of the development of kickboxing and Muay Thai. If you enjoyed this video, please like, leave your comments, and don't forget to press the bell to avoid missing the next video. And if you're not subscribed, please do so right now. See you next time in the ring.